Welcome to Self-Education through self-reflection, self-discovery, and self-exploration. My name is Courtney Brain, and today the topic is, what do I want? I was able to, fortunately, spend the weekend in Denver, Colorado with some new friends. Yay! And this was a really good time for me. I did a lot of things that really scared the crap out of me. So I hate that I have to say this, but I'm not a great swimmer. I can get from point A to point B if I need to, but as far as like just treading water, I'm not so great. So I say that because there's some water stuff. I had never been hiking before, at least not with any type of inclines or elevation. When I went to Phoenix, Arizona, it wasn't hiking. I can say that, like, because what I did when I got here, that was hiking. Oh my God, that was a hike. So got my first 1 mile one way, so 2 mile hike, and got up to 844 feet of elevation. It might not be anything to a lot of people, but to me, that's a big deal. Because, yeah, I hadn't done it before. And I thought I was prepared for it, but man, I think I started breathing heavy as soon as we got out the car. I also went what's it called? Stand-up paddleboarding, but I did not stand up. I was ready though. I watched a YouTube video. I learned how to get up on that thing, and when I realized that we weren't actually standing up, I felt so much more comfortable. But I had a life vest on in case I fell in that cold ass lake. It was a good time. I'm really excited that I got to do so many new things. And through that process, I think I realized what I want. I realized how to go about figuring out what I want. Not just in a sense of, right now, but bigger picture, what I want out of life, what I want for my life, what I want for my reality to look like. And the path to this was really just having a sense of clarity. I disengaged from my phone for a lot of this trip. When I went on the first hike, I just left it. And then when we went to paddleboard, and I didn't have service. I took a couple of pictures over the weekend, but I felt myself present as Courtney, not as H on my chest, not as the founder of Something Positive for Positive People, not as the podcast host of Self, not as someone who was confused about what's next for me in life or wondering what other people are thinking of me, but I got to just be Courtney, and it felt great. I felt like I think I mentioned here the two versions of myself, the lowercase Courtney and caps lock Courtney from therapy. How, the person that I want to be is caps lock, and the person that I revert back to being lowercase Courtney. So I felt this weekend, I was, for the entire weekend, caps lock Courtney, and it felt right, it felt real. Another thing that I did, I watched that show Sex Lives on Netflix, or Sex Life on Netflix, and finished it. It was addicting. And watching that show was very validating for me in the sense of being the kind of person who thinks to myself, I'm like, I don't understand this phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I feel like you can. Like, well, I wouldn't want cake if I couldn't eat it. I'm going to just have cake. Or, I get it. If you eat the cake, it goes away, but you get more cake. I just don't like the phrase. It doesn't make sense. You shouldn't want to have cake if you can't eat the cake. But anyways, I won't spoil the show or ruin it in any way, shape, or form, but ultimately, it begins with, the perfect life, the bigger picture that the epitome of the American dream that we're taught to pursue. You want your family and you want your kids, and you know, the reality sets in that there's more to that, or there's like this person on the inside of us that's being repressed, perhaps. This may not apply to everybody, but when we repress ourselves, there comes this like almost uncontrollable reaction to the monotony of day-to-day life, where that inner you really feels resentful that it doesn't get a chance to come out. And the reason that I like this show so much is because I think that for the weekend, it parallels my own experience with having repressed this piece of me that is adventurous, that is wanting to travel and finding new ways of getting that excitement and experiencing body arousal, not in the sense of just, my genitals. When I was out there paddleboarding on that lake, everything in me was like, all right, just stay close to shore. So if you fall or the wind get too heavy, you can just get your ass back on that shoreline and sit down on a rock. And Kevin's one of the guys who was with us. He came over. He was like, "Yeah, you all right, man?" I was like, "I am scared shitless, but I'm gathering myself." And he was like, "Here, just hook on to me. Fucking hook me on." And he paddled out into the middle of the lake. I was just like, "All right, we're here now. I got my life jacket." But that feeling of aliveness. Now, granted, I didn't do any paddling. Let me just make that clear. I was like practicing. I knew how to turn. I could go forward a little bit, but when that wind hit, oh man, I couldn't do anything. But that was what I got. I am the kind of person who is adventurous, at least to some extent, and I think that I've limited myself to sexual experiences being the extent of where my adventurousness is. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just that it's limiting. And there are so many other ways to find like those joys. I look at, work aside, Comic-Con. I haven't been since like knowing that I really liked it, except for once, just because of the pandemic, I guess. But I haven't really found any of those locally to me. And then there's cooking. I really enjoy cooking. There's also travel. I made the declaration, during the pandemic, actually, the next chance I get, I am going to say yes to travel opportunities whenever they come up. That was something that I wanted, and I declared that I wanted it. Now, why is this episode called What Do I Want? The reason is because I've never known what I wanted. What I wanted was always dictated by my external circumstances. And what I mean by that is I would say things like, I don't know if I can have kids or if I want to have kids because kids are expensive and I don't make a lot of money. If I make a lot of money, then I'll probably be open to having kids. The other thing is I can be with someone who's monogamous or non-monogamous. Like, I'm non-monogamous myself, at least right now, in the sense of the way that I do relationships. But I could be with, the right person I can be monogamous with, or the right person I can be non-monogamous with. And about where I want to live, where the money takes me is where I need to go. If I want to live if I want to work in this field, then I want to get a job that's going to be in that. Or just working where I'm at now at the gym. Staying in St. Louis seems like the most realistic option for me because I have a job here, or because I have a career here, and I'm able to continue to build the next levels of the career that calls to me. Now, again, these are all external circumstances of mine. Whereas I'm someone who's college educated, I have a lot of skills, and it's a matter of me literally really sitting down and being like, this is what I want. Just like with travel. This year, 2021 alone, I've been to San Diego, I've been to Louisville, I've been to Chicago, I've been to now Denver. I'm going to go to Portland in 2 weeks. And then I've also got Atlanta planned on the schedule, and Philly, or what's the other one? Or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. I forget which one, but I think that that's on the list as well. And then Cincinnati. So it's like 8 or 9 places. And traveling isn't near as much of a financial drain as I thought it would be, especially when you meet people or know people, and you got people that are willing to let you stay with them. That's the case for me in Denver, and it's been great. Everyone's been cool, and I know that probably isn't the case for everyone who gets to travel, that they just, happen to come across cool people to let them stay with them. But this is a matter of it. How do I want to say this? This is a great example of doing the opposite of what I did, as far as navigating what I want and allowing that to be externally motivated, because this was an internal motivation. I want to travel more. All right. So there's this, I don't know who said it. It was probably in an anime show that I watched, but it said, we don't make right or wrong decisions. We make decisions and then we make them right. Oh my God. I think that was in Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. It was a book. That's something I could probably Google and put in the show notes just to make sure I'm referencing the right thing. But anyway, but that was the decision. And I firm believer that when you make the big decision, the little ones make themselves. So if we were to apply this logic to my goal setting, it should be, I don't want kids. And it should be, I am non-monogamous. And it should be, this is the career that I want. And then as my circumstances around me make an appearance, I can take action in those opportunities in order to make them work for me, in order to reach my goal. Because I know that, and with those 3 examples that I gave, there's a lot more detail I can go into in order to melt that intent into my being. Because you can make a statement, but it's like, okay, well, why? And the why is really what the intent behind it is. So for me, I have a strong belief that my influence on making this world a better place for the people who are currently in it doesn't include having children. As if I had kids, my focus will be on my children and raising my family. I wouldn't be able to give as much as I give of myself to the world around me, and I probably shouldn't give as much as I do now, but I have that strong belief about that. The next thing, as far as my career goes, chasing money shouldn't be the thing. It should be a matter of, deciding, okay, well, what do I want? Do I want to travel a lot? Do I want to plant down roots somewhere? I already see travel in the future for the career path that I've chosen because of, so many little aspects of it. And it's happening. That one was something that I was certain about, and that's what's going on. Now it's a matter of more fully investing into that full time, which means, unfortunately, probably needing to maybe limit my time at the gym or limiting my time with yoga stuff and the podcast. Because, boy, have I said yes to a lot of things in 2020 and 2021 in the beginning, thinking that I'd have a lot more free time given where we were with the pandemic. And there's another lockdown is on the horizon, it looks like, but we'll see. And then where I want to be, I guess that kind of ties into the travel. Uh, Being able to decide, all right, do I want to be somewhere surrounded by water? Do I want to be somewhere warm? Do I want to be somewhere that is like city-like or country-like? That's something that I've not ever put much thought into because I've just always lived in the city. And lately, having gone to Phoenix and been outdoors and having been in Denver this past weekend and been able to hike and be on the lake, I want less of city life where everything seems to be centered around drinking, and I want more of like this outdoor stuff. So looking at, possibly being somewhere that's warm, that I can be outside, that not everything is centered around drinking, and even in like dating, I look at where I'm at in Missouri. I'm in a conservative state. Uh, Dating just don't go well for me where I'm at. Like I don't have problems with meeting people long distance or outside of my state, but it feels like that's not my place to find my people and my person really. Um, and I got family and friends there, obviously, but I know that's if I want to be happier, which I promote that for everybody, then it's going to be a matter of me figuring out, okay, well, where can I be happier? Like where can I create this environment in life that I want for myself? And then as far as the monogamy, non-monogamy thing goes, I know that I just want an open relationship. Whether that look like something monogamous or it looks like threesomes together or group stuff together or having our own things separately. I don't feel like I fit into polyamory where I'm having multiple romantic relationships where everyone gets the same like aspects of Courtney 100% of the time. Whoever I'm present with, that's who gets Courtney. However, I want my partner to be somebody that I can share my finances with and share space with, live together, and just be a teammate and do life together. We can have our pets or whatever we're gonna have, and travel and do all this stuff that I want to do together. And so that show, one of the characters, he made a comment. He was like, "Yeah, I created this vision, and you fit right into it because you wanted those same things." I was like, "Damn! If I were to just be the kind of person who knows what I want, then I don't think I'd have that problem with, being able to walk around kind of with this puzzle that's mostly put together with the framework of it, and see when a potential partner fits that missing piece of fitting into what that vision is." And and I say that and it sounds like objectifying or some shit, but I don't think it is. I think that as you talk to people, as you ask questions, you really gain an understanding of where it is that they're coming from, right? And if somebody wants the same things as you for the most part, but I think one of the things to put in the beginning of your evaluations of said partner is, what happens if we change? If we're supporting the growth of one another, what happens when change occurs? What do? Do we give ourselves the freedom to explore whatever that change is, or what? So I want to, I think there's a lot of elements here to my relationship style, and a lot of it ties into what it is that I want. And so I don't want to force that on people anymore, and I don't want to have that forced onto me anymore, because I've always been the kind of person who would adapt to what another person wants. And when you are someone who knows what you want, and you're interacting with someone who doesn't know what they want, let me rephrase that. When you know who you are and you're engaging with someone who does not know who they are, what kind of relationship dynamic does that create? If this is someone that you're invested in long term, or even if the tables are turned, if you're someone who doesn't know who you are and you're finding yourself with someone who knows who they are, what kind of resentments are occurring? What types of adaptions are occurring? Because as someone who may not know who they are, you may try to conform and make yourself into what that other person, or you make yourself fit into someone else's life with no idea that that person doesn't fit into yours, not in the way that you want, at least. And that was kind of what my big takeaway was from watching that Sex Life show. I was just like, dang, there's a lot of gems in here. And a lot of it really parallels my own life experiences, at least right now. And I've always been really afraid of declaring what it is that I want to the world, to the universe, to myself, because oftentimes I've gotten it. Like what I've asked for, what I said I wanted, I've historically gotten. And that scared me, because it was like, okay, well, what expense is this coming at? What am I sacrificing if I keep asking for stuff? What if I run out of, quote, wishes, right? But I don't think it works that way. Here I am at 32 years old, something that's been happening to me from the time I was at least in high school. And I think that that's the power of belief. I had a conversation over the weekend about whether or not I believe in God, and I can't say yes or no to that without it coming off in a way that I don't mean for it to come across to the person. What I do believe is the power of belief. I believe that there's like a sort. Oh, man, dude, this is a tough one, because it sounds really bad when you say it out loud, but like, I believe that there is essentially like all of this shit's an illusion, or maybe even the appearance of what God is or could be is also an illusion. And in a sense of like, if I were this all-powerful being or force or whatever, I would want to forget that that was me. I'd want to forget that, and for the sake of just experiencing everything, whatever everything is, the power of bringing nothing into everything, bringing nothing into anything, like creating, going from all that is to just possibility, and being able to just become all of that, like having that on one plane of existence, this one being just essentially interacting with itself again and again and again times infinity, and every absolute life force to experience everything there is. So when people ask me, do you believe in God? Like, the answer is yes and no, because in the sense of how we've been trained to believe what God is or who God is, no. In the sense of what my life experience has been in terms of connecting with God or source, yes. So I found it like the power of just belief is something that resonates with me, because in believing that reality is just that illusion of separation, I find that with my overall goal and with seeing how others communicate and navigate life, connectedness seems to be the goal. We want to experience others, and we want to have others experience us. We want to be experienced and experience. And for there to be a God based on what I believe, that God had to navigate this, just like with the flip notebook, if you can picture that, like just one being in there, and then you flip it, and then you put another layer on it, and there's two beings, and then another layer, but there's just that one being navigating each and every one of these experiences. And like that might be what it is. I use electrical box, the circuit breaker, whatever the fuck it is, like an energy source essentially, and it just fires off sparks. Each of those sparks is like soul energy or whatever, making its way into however life is generally created. It is wild the way that I kind of look at that thing, but I watched the show American Gods, and something that they said that will always stick with me is that, you know, man doesn't necessarily, what is it? Damn. Now I can't remember the quote. It's man's belief in God that gives gods their power, not the other way around. So, with that kind of logic in mind, with the understanding of man recognizes that the God in them, essentially the energy of creation, of possibility, that energy force, and tap into that with the understanding that intention is what fuels that magnetism that draws in all of what it is that you genuinely desire, and you're willing to take the action steps to go get it. You know, that's essentially what it means to be God, to seemingly manifest opportunities out of nothing. Like having the ability to create. Like that's what we do as humans, at least. We are the most creative, diversely beings that exist. So tapping into I got to get away from the fear of what I want, because that's a belief that I have. And if I have that belief, and what I believe about the power of belief is that the more you believe something, the harder you believe in it, the more true it is to you and who you are, the more likely it is to occur. So I want to shift my beliefs. I want to shift my intention into believing that all of these things that I want, and it's not much really, having an understanding that I want this, here's why I want this, this is who I am. This is the kind of person I am. I'm the kind of person who wants to be in an open relationship, and I understand what that looks like. I'm the kind of person who does, in fact, want to have the lifestyle that allows for me to travel a lot and take care of my partner that I'm with, and being able to be in good health and be in good shape and take care of my own self and be able to make more time for caps lock Courtney to appear. You know, H on my chest, something positive, giving 100, yoga, all of that aside, you know, I want more opportunities for me to just be Courtney, for me to meet people as Courtney. And yeah, it just feels good. It feels good to not be known or seemingly known, or for people to have this assumption that they know who I am. Like, let me introduce myself. Let me give you a first impression. Those are more of the opportunities that I want in life. I want to take more chances. I want to take more risks. This is what I want to do. And the only way that that's really going to happen is for me to not allow for my external circumstances to dictate what I want anymore. I have to call it out and like, hey, this is what I want. And when these opportunities come up that are kind of like, are you sure? Here's something else. I got to be able to walk away from that. Or if it's here's something that could help you with getting to where you said you want to be, what you going to do with it. And I want to make those decisions is in that way. That's what I want to do. So my eyes are open and I have clarity. And that's what traveling typically does for me. Traveling allows for me to have clarity with the opportunities that are around me. And yeah, that's what I want. That's it. Thanks for listening. If you have, if you do, hope you got something out of this. I'm ready to take it to the next level. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Had this uploaded on time because the last few weeks I've not been on time with uploading these episodes. So I'll have this one uploaded by midnight for the typical Tuesday release of Self. Thank you for listening.